Okay. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hi, hi, hi. Good, good, good.
So, so welcome you, sir. So I'm so
Thank you
glad
so much.
that we got connected with Amity University to organize this wonderful session on virtual legal roadshow on
Sure,
career after law. So
sure, sure,
let me invite our first panelist and along with the other panelists from Amity.
sure.
So we have Vidyut ma'am, we have Smita ma'am, we have Dr. Shanu Singh. Great. So, sir, I would like you to please give some light on the opening statement for opening
Sure,
session.
sure.
Thank you, sir.
So, good afternoon, everybody, and especially the students who have joined in and who will be joining also in the due course of time. This is a very important day for Amity Law Schools, Noida, that we have partnered as a knowledge partner with Lloyd. Before I go further, I would like to give a small little introduction of what Lloyd is all about, so that we are aware as to whom are we associating with. Lloyd is a legal tech initiative designed to change the way people interact with and within the legal industry. Functioning with a vision of making every individual legally empowered, Lloyd thrives towards giving everyone access to the legal services. It brings legal online, making it cost effective, high quality, and accessible for all. Lloyd, apart from introducing people to highly skilled and experienced lawyers, also assists professionals throughout their and personal journey towards success. So this is a very small resume kind of a thing about Lloyd. They do a lot of things, and I'm sure this association is going to go to strength. I'll now move on and give a short, a brief description and introduction about today's panelist who will be talking to us about the career after law. It's a very, very important topic to dealt with. This starts with a series of career counseling sessions, as we call in Amity. Advocate Vidyut Bedekar, she is an alumna of ILS Law College, Pune, has worked with top corporates, law firms in India before venturing into her own practice. She is the co-founder of TLA. TLA stands for Tree of Life Associates, a boutique law firm within depth of understanding and domain expertise, technology, outsourcing, privacy laws, labor and employment matters, and startups of legal offerings. Ms. Bedekar focused domain are corporate law and commercial laws, mergers and acquisitions, laws relating to the inbound and outbound investments, IP in specific trademark, copyright, law, and startup investments. And she is the practice head for all these areas at TLA, Bangalore. Madam has more than 15 years of experience as a lawyer. I would not like to take too much of time in these introductions, so that there is more time available to us for listening to our honorable guest speakers. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Captain Saxena. Thank you for the introduction. Hi, everybody who's watching this session. I am Vidyut. I am the co-founder of a Bangalore-based law firm. We are called Tree of Life Associates. We are a boutique law firm, and my area of specialization is startup practice. So I set up the startup practice at my firm, and I handle that vertical. When I say startup practice, it's the entire length and breadth of startups, starting from ideations to sometimes helping in creating business plans, to the initial documentation, incorporation, to later on investments and agreements. So all of it is what I do. I'm sure all of you all know that Bangalore is, the Silicon Valley of the East. I mean, minus the infrastructure, of course. So that's where really the entire focus on startups has come. And it's been a wonderful journey, in fact, every day. And I continue to enjoy being a lawyer. I still feel like I'm the student of law, and I will continue to be one for the rest of my life. So that's the beauty of law, right? I mean, you never stop being a lawyer. Be a lawyer till the day that you want to, I mean, to me, till the day I die, I will continue to be a lawyer. So really, I mean, that's a brief introduction of myself. Yeah. Maybe is it more of a Q&A? Talk.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much for such an introduction, and thank you, sir. So, ma'am, before starting, I
Yeah.
would
So
just like,
I guess.
yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So, ma'am, before starting, I have one question. You are a lawyer, you are practicing, and you have actually, experienced that journey being a law student. Ma'am, how would you suggest one student or like the law students what they should actually do when they actually join the law school? What should be the first step they should do?
First step to joining a law school or out of law school? What was your question,
Joining
child?
the law, joining the law school, ma'am.
Okay, I think today, see, unlike the time when I joined law school at ILS Law College, the choices in terms of law school were not as they are today, right? Today you have so many law schools. Daily one law school, is springing up somewhere. So I think it starts with finding a good law school. So don't just go for law and just join, the college around the corner. Law is not that. I think selecting a good law school, like Amity, becomes very important as a first decision because and this is not important just from future placements. I think that's not the objective. I'm not saying that law is just about finding the right placement. No, law is so much more than that, right? It's not just about finding a job. As a lawyer, we have so many responsibilities, including social responsibilities. But finding the right kind of college, I think, becomes important in deciding the kind of lawyer that you start out to be, right? So yeah, the first thing is finding the right college, the right fit for you. I think the internships. Now here, my personal view is that internships should start from year one. I'll tell you why. Year one and two, sort of are the introduction to what law is all about, right? Right out of your 12th grade, as you, it is very difficult to firms or even practicing law, get your bearings in the law school, understand subjects, understand what it means to be, a law student first. Then start your internships. We firm actually do not take applications from first and second year students. It's been our experience that the internships are of no use. It just becomes, something that you write on your CV, and you really don't learn much because the ability to grasp is not that much. So after choosing a good internships, but after 2 years, and let your internships. And the third one I would say is let your internships be a mix of both litigation and maybe some social as well, where you go and work with trusts or NGOs, or women's organizations, or organizations that work for the people who are in need of help, right? What we call pro bono work. So working with those organizations also will give you the depth of experience, because and then maybe you can make an informed decision after 5 years, where is it that you want to go. So that way internships will allow you to get some clarity. I'm saying some, not all, but some clarity as to where you may want to go once you finish your 5 years. Yeah.
All right, ma'am. So, ma'am, I have seen being a law student, sometimes we have a tendency to actually know that we should go on into litigation, either we should go as an in-house and corporate, or go for judiciary. But, ma'am, does law students have any other career opportunity apart from all three of these?
Is there any other career opportunity? Well, if you want to be a hardcore lawyer, I would think that either a law firm, whether it's a law firm or a litigation office. So to me, even today, in my experience, in-house may not be the first point of seeking employment. Now, this is my personal view, Sahil, because I feel in-house initially kind of limits your experience as a lawyer. So to me, it is either a practicing lawyer's office or a law firm are the best career choices initially if you want to be a full-fledged lawyer. Now, if you don't want to initially be a full-fledged lawyer, then for instance, then you're aware that LLM works, right? So LLM is important in those scenarios. Or if you want to have an experience of purely understanding how overseas universities work, even then you could potentially look at LLM. But I don't know what else offers other than as a teaching opportunity. So yeah, to that extent, my experience personally has been that if you want to be a hardcore practicing lawyer, whether it's a litigation or a non-litigation experience, a law firm or a lawyer's office is a very good point to start.
Okay. So, ma'am, with this, where you have brought LLM in between, I would like to actually have one question for Saxena sir or Smita ma'am or Dr. Shanu. How do you think, uh, like after doing LLM, what all other opportunity apart from teaching is available for the students? Any one of you would like to take? Yes, sir. Saxena sir. Would you like to take up the question?
I would request Smita ma'am to kindly throw some light on this.
Okay.
Yes, Sahil, see, one thing
Yeah.
which is coming up now is, everyone wants to do an LLM. I think one of the reasons being is that uh, specialization is now gaining prominence. Okay, so whether it is public international law or ADR or constitutional law or corporate law, I think what is now slowly becoming important are two things. First is specialization, and second is a more global and more national and international outlook. So these are the things which, if any student wants further after 5 years, then they go in for their masters.
Okay. Ma'am, with this, suppose we have also like recently, a few years back, the honors has been introduced. Like if you do BBA LLB or BA LLB, it comes with the tag of honors. So we have to choose a specialization subject. Like when I was a law student, I chose corporate law. So how LLM becomes make it more different?
Yes, because in LLM, the main thing what comes in is research.
Okay.
So if you are interested in further research and in-depth research and publications and going out in further studying and analyzing the subject and putting in your own contribution in the subject at a later stage, the growth of the subject will improve with research, and that helps. That is, if you want to do that, then you should go in for further studies.
Okay, amazing, ma'am. So another question I have with you, ma'am. Ma'am, how do you think someone suppose get into litigation and want to start his or her firm, law firm? What should be the first thing they should keep in mind?
Honestly, my experience, I can only talk from my experience, Sahil, and the first experience that I can probably share is don't chase money initially. Cultivate relationships. Cultivate
Okay.
clientele by creating close relationships with your initial set of clients. The work will flow and the money will eventually come, but don't start on your own because you want to earn a ton of money. That to me doesn't sound like the right reason for starting, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so my first advice definitely would be, don't chase the money, find your first clients and stay committed to them forever. those relationships will go a very
But
long way.
But ma'am, if suppose like a recent graduate start his or her own firm, and so it comes under the entrepreneurship as well. But the mindset of an entrepreneur is something to provide a solution, and we all, as in the legal industry, is providing a solution to a lot of things. So how about they can only stick to one client or two clients?
No, I'm not
They need.
saying don't pick one or two clients. That's not what I meant. I said don't go chasing the money. The money will come.
Mhm.
I'm saying look for
Okay.
clients. Look for clients that you can enable in terms of their businesses. They may be your first clients who may not be able to, pay you a lot of megabucks, but they are the ones who will
Right.
stick with you till the end. They are the ones who are going to refer your work. Now, of course, you will have to provide very good services. You cannot hold back just because a client doesn't give you money. And those services will work, like talk for themselves. So word of
Right.
mouth will happen. You will get, a better clientele, and slowly you will start growing your practice. Whether it's litigation or non-litigation, honestly, practices grow slowly, and they should, because you have to get your initial team properly in place. You need to get your office properly in place. You need to get your head in a particular spot when it comes to being an entrepreneur. Whether it's a lawyer or any other entrepreneur, legal entrepreneurship is like any other entrepreneurship. It comes with the same set of challenges, right? So yeah, so my advice would be, find those initial guys who will stick with you, and grow with them, and you will grow.
Ma'am, I have one contradiction on this. Sorry, but ma'am, don't you think in the technological era it has become difficult for young law graduates when they are starting their own firm or getting into the professional world? So they are finding it difficult because the tendency and the mindset of people in our country is like, okay, we have more experienced legal professionals sitting, we should reach out to them rather than reaching out to the young professionals. How they should actually overcome that, what strategy they should use, what ways they should actually go for.
So I don't know if you guys will like my answer. I think a lawyer is all about the experience of law, right? I mean, it's not the same as a scientist or a young MBA graduate. I think experience talks a lot to a lawyer. Okay. Today, experience, and I can honestly tell you, of your experience with you, there's a lot of difference that I bring to my clients' table. Okay. So I don't know if, honestly, it's a good idea to get out of law school and start on your own. Experience building is very important. Experience building at a law firm or a company, with a litigation experienced litigation lawyer who will show you the how litigation works, how interaction with courts work, how drafting a plaint works. All of these things, if you learn and you get your experience now. There's no standard for how much experience one needs in order to start by oneself. That is entirely individualistic, right? As a person, I may take 2 years, somebody else may take 4 years, right? But I do not know if it is a smart idea to get out of law school and start on your own. Yes, that is going to be a challenge, because the market, is highly competitive right now. There are so many of us lawyers, who are offering different kinds of rates, different kind of services, and therefore it is going to be a challenge. So therefore, that would be my recommendation.
Okay. So while discussing this, I just got a thought, and I was actually having a conversation with one of the students last night, and he told me that he would love to join Air Force or military, to actually and give the JAG exam and become a judge over there. So I have one question for Saxena sir in this regard. That Saxena sir, how do you think what all should be done by a law student to make sure that he or she gets into military forces, being a law student or after graduation?
So as you rightly said, Sahil, it's called Judge Advocate General Branch. Army and Navy, they do the direct recruitment in the JAG
Yes.
branch. But in the Air Force, it is not so. You have to be first qualified as an officer and have an in-service experience of 4 years. And thereafter, if you have a law degree with you, you can apply to the JAG branch and get trained, selected, and then you are posted as a. So you have two branches. You have a parent branch and you have a JAG branch, and then officer carries on and starts working there. But in case of Navy and Army, they have a direct selection. It is through the Service Selection Board, and whenever there is an examination or whenever there is a vacancies are there, that comes into the newspapers, and the students can apply there and then fill up the form, and they'll be called for interview if they make the grade. Now,
Okay.
every year the grades will be different. Every year the cutoff will be different. So it all depends upon how many number of vacancies they have, and what is the need of the defense forces as the JAG branch is concerned. JAG is a very good option. There is no doubt about it, but it has its own challenges. And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
the person is very keen to join JAG branch and should know before joining the JAG branch that what is in for him or her in store.
But sir, are we preparing our students to be so, to get clear through these exams? Are our institutions are actually preparing them? Because I have my personal experience where we were never being taught during our times for these competitive exams. But nowadays, our institutions are preparing them.
There's no such special preparation which is required crack the SSB, Service Selection Board. There's a separate set of mindset which you have to have. They go through the psychometric analysis and things like that, and then they find the right fit. So there is no separate preparation which is required to crack a JAG exam or something like that. Yes, there are a lot of institutes in the civil which have come up and they do say ki we are preparing. But my experience, I am a law graduate myself. Although I never joined JAG branch of the Air Force, that was my personal decision. But then I don't find anything very special to be prepared for. You have to have a basic knowledge of law and the officer-like qualities, as they call it, OLQs, which probably one can just pick up a book on SSB and go through themselves.
All right, sir. I have a question from all the panelists with us. So there is one myth, or I don't know whether it's true or not. I have seen students are interacting with them and scaring them. If you want to clear the judiciary exam, after that you shouldn't have a tattoo on your body. You shouldn't actually have that. You should not do this. I understand from the army military point of view, yes, we should not. But if a student is actually preparing for a judiciary exam and clearing the exam, whether if a student has a tattoo on the body, whether he or she will be allowed to be a judge. So open to everyone. Vidyut ma'am, would you like to answer? You're smiling. I'm sure you would love to answer this.
Sahil, I have no opinion on your question. I don't know what to say. I mean, there's no law in the country which says judges can't have tattoos. So that I can say that legally you are not barred from having a tattoo to sit for your judicial exams. So that's one. I guess for judges, if you look at us personally, right, it's all about perception management. Unfortunately, I think the incident of Justice Bobde on his Harley became an unusually important topic to talk about, during the COVID times, and that's how unfortunately today's public is. So I think it's okay to have tattoos. Maybe face tattoos don't have, but otherwise it's okay, I suppose.
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. We have come up with a lot of new subjects has been introduced by law schools. One, we have also, like I've seen people who are doing BBA, they are actually doing specialization in aviation, and we have aviation law. So how if someone wants to pursue his or her career in aviation law? What challenges a student would face, what all he or she should keep in mind to actually pursue that.
Okay. Should I take the opportunity to answer this? So,
Please, ma'am, please.
okay, so I don't know what career in aviation law means. Okay, because if you ask me, aviation law is a super, super specialized field, right? So, for instance, I can tell you that we've had, an aviation client, an airline which was a client of ours, and the advice that they sought from us was not, in terms of aviation law; it was on contract law,
Right.
right? In terms of drafting agreements, hypothecation documents, when you take an aircraft to lease, what are the documentation that you would look at? For that matter, if there is a novation that is required of an existing agreement, what is and how to draft that agreement? Probably look at the existing regulations by the DGCA. That's something that they sought advice on, and we advise them on that. Another thing that comes to mind is now you must be aware that drones are legal, subject to obviously DGCA's regulations. So if there's a startup probably proposing to launch drones, then one would have to go through those regulations. So, I mean, one needn't have to do anything special, to get into aviation law. You just need to know what are the duties of DGCA, what do they do, where their statutory powers come from, and be able to read the regulations and advise your client accordingly. So that's really what one will have to do. Similar to any other advice, Sahil, I mean, it all requires a reading of the law, interpretation of law, and honestly, then advising your client accordingly.
All right, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, one question I have for you that, ma'am, you have worked with Fox Mandel, you have worked with two associates, and then you started your own firm.
No, I worked
Ma'am,
for Dua after that. So 2 years I worked with Fox Mandel, 5 years I
right,
worked with Dua Associates, and then TM.
right. Then you started your firm,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Ma'am, like how difficult it was to set up your own firm? Though
It's
you were having that experience, but suppose a law student who has experience of 1 year or 2 years with a law firm working as an associate or someone, and afterwards he or she wants to start the firm, what all they should keep in mind after that? Because they are going to come out and becoming a competition to the firm they have worked in some ways, I guess. Yeah. What they should keep in mind.
So I think, so personally, for me, after 2 years at Fox Model, I don't think I would have been in a position to start off on my own. My experience with Dua really, for that matter, helped me create, or bring about a confidence in being able to be on my own. Now, when I say on my own, I have a partner, my ex-colleague, in fact, from Fox Mandal, and the two of us have set up Tree of Life Associates. I think setting up on your own is not an easy thing, but by far it's been one of the most fulfilling things I've done. Honestly, I mean, it's the best decision I took, and I don't regret it even for one day, because I can see myself do this till the very end. And I love the practice of law. So therefore, now that I do it for myself in a certain sense, it's fantastic. If a youngster wants to start off by himself or herself, I told you my earlier answer was first get a good experience, because then you know the practice a little bit better. Don't be in a hurry to start off on your own. I think there are different challenges that come, in your way when you start off on your own. Income being one very important one, right? Credibility being another. So these are the two very important challenges that come your way. So therefore, get your experience, and after that, if you still want to start early, see, youngsters have the advantage of using technology. They harness technology, right? So
Right.
let's harness technology to the best of your ability within the four boundary walls that bar councils have set for us. Yeah. I'm going to probably take this opportunity for openly saying that I feel the bar councils in our country are unnecessarily limiting our use of technology, right, by calling it solicitation. But within the boundaries that are created by bar councils, use technology to harness yourselves, put yourselves out there, articles, talks, See, for instance, even today, I can tell you, like, I think where lawyer has a distinct edge is that if you give a Google search in the search keywords, if you've done something for lawyer, it immediately pops up, right? So
Absolutely.
similar way, if you want to create, some kind of a digital identity for yourself, put yourself out there on the internet as much as you can. Be a credible source of information. Don't hold back. So if you're going to write an article on ESOP, don't write three lines and say the fourth and the fifth line only I will charge for them. Give the entire law on ESOPs. I mean, if you're not giving, somebody else is giving. So yeah, put yourself out there, become a recall value, and maybe people will start appreciating that. Yeah.
So, ma'am, when you actually taken out this point of visibility and outreach for how important it is for any legal professional. So, ma'am, now as we can see in US, marketing is allowed for law firm, business development is allowed for a law firm in UK as well. But in India, we are restricted to a lot of things we what a lawyer cannot do. Right. So this question I have, starting with you, Vidyut ma'am, then coming to Smita ma'am and Dr. Shanu ma'am. So, how do you think a law student from the initial start of journey can actually like what they should focus on to maintain and create that visibility for themselves, what they should do, what should be the first step and what should be the last step for them, with you ma'am.
Okay, so I think US and UK, the cultures are very different, right? I know you must be aware of the term ambulance chases, and we in India, I mean, UK not so much, because obviously the Commonwealth countries, have similar laws. So we consider and continue to consider law as a noble profession, and like cricket is a gentleman's game, right? The similar way, law is a noble profession, and in keeping in mind the nobility of the profession is why we are not allowed to go there and solicit. Now, obviously, solicitation is, in the digital era, and especially during COVID times when internet is the only way to go be out there. It's a shifting definition, so we use it to our benefit. We are lawyers; we can interpret it to our advantage, and ensure that we do not become ambulance chasers. But the first thing that I would recommend is write articles. I would think that that is the best way to put yourself out there. Author good content. Don't plagiarize. Please do not plagiarize. It's very easy to catch plagiarizers. There's enough software out there. So plagiarizing is a big no-no. But write articles, on different subjects.
Right.
And, then you've got your LinkedIn's. Maybe initially they might not be able to afford lawyer. Maybe you all can create, a student membership or something like that. Use the social media, to the best of your ability. I know that maybe Facebook and Instagram is not possible because you might not be taken seriously. But LinkedIn is there, and there are multiple other avenues. So yeah, write, continue to write, and I think that would be the best way to put yourself out there.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So just to pause a bit, we have Sachin Kalra sir with us. Welcome, sir. So I hope you got free, and I'm really, really appreciable for this that you taken out time from your such a busy schedule because you have the matter and everything. So, Saxena sir, just for the start, please, if you would like, please introduce Sachin Kalra, sir.
Sure. So, welcome to the platform, Sachinji. It was a pleasure having you with us on an important topic of career after law, because students certainly look towards the professionals like you to get advised as to what they should be doing after they have completed their graduation and post-graduation. So, students, good afternoon to you. We have a panelist with us, Mr. Sachin Kalra. I'd like to introduce him. He's the Deputy General Counsel of the HT Media Group. And I will give a very brief introduction so that most of the time is we hear him rather than I talking about. Mr. Sachin Kalra is the Deputy General Counsel of HT Media. Mr. Kalra, having pursued his master's degree from Bharatiya Vidyapith, Pune, holds a specialization in the corporate law and intellectual property rights. Post-graduation, he joined as faculty of the law with the same university. So he's been a teacher in the alma mater itself, which speaks volumes for him. Subsequently, he decided to pursue a career in the litigation and corporate world and joined the legal team of Vodafone and thereafter Samsung India, Bharti Retail, and Bharti Extra. Mr. Kalra has a rich experience of over 16 years, not only in the legal field but also in the compliances field. He has a wide experience of handling a diverse range of legal matters with different industries like telecom, FMCG, retail, electronics, consumer durables, insurance, and media. So it's a full pack. However, with the penchant for research and love for academics, he continues to hold a keen interest in interacting with the tutoring law students as a wide array of subjects beyond the rote learning of the textbook. And this is the reason why Mr. Kalra is here with us. So over to Mr. Kalra and all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Saxena, and love to have you all in panel here. Sahil, good to connect along with Vidyut.
Same here, sir.
So I am open for the questions which you'll have to have, but if you want to know my journey, I can
Okay.
do that also.
Definitely, sir. To start with, it would be amazing if you can just give us a brief, inspiring words on your journey, sir.
So my journey starts from the learning and intensive learning only, and how it works with everyone now. This is what the lawyer is, and this is what the law field is. So my journey, if I give you my journey, I have a small town, Uttarakhand, and from the small town, did completed my master's law, BSc, then shifted to Pune for masters, and from masters, uh, I joined as a faculty of law with SEEB University. 1 year I was teaching company law, arbitration, and with that some diploma in the evening classes. Thereafter, I shifted to the litigation world. I shifted to Delhi and I started practicing before Delhi High Court and multiple courts in Delhi, wherein I got chance to work with Vodafone thereafter as a corporate lawyer. And I handled Delhi NCR for and UP West for Vodafone, then Samsung India. A lot of learning which has been come together, be litigation or a contract or a compliance part. A lot of learning. Law is vast, everyone knows. And this is what how it works with me. And I keep on dragging the things which are what all can be on my plate always. And I keep on learning, and my team also keep learning with this scenario. This is the funda which I continue.
That's amazing, sir. That's amazing. Sir, I have one question. You being into the corporate world for quite a long time now, and you are heading the legal department for HT Media Limited. What do you think, sir, a law student should keep in mind if he or she wants to get into as an in-house or in the corporate world?
As an in-house, basically, the dedication. See, I'll tell you what. There are three roles of a lawyer when he passes a law or when he's about to complete a law. He need to decide basically what he want to do first. So, as a young during my time, during our period, there was nothing to define how to work on and how to move on. It's all is evolved after me completing law. 1998 to 2000 law of lawyer. There was no corporate world. Corporate world started in 2002. My view is this: he and she, whoever is want, a young person, young lawyers, they need to understand the gravity of what they want to do and how they want to find out. The path towards corporate world can be two ways. One is directly approaching corporate world and getting into corporate. The other way to approach corporate is that move to the litigation side, move to the documentation side with the law firm or an individual lawyer, learn some basics of law because there are a lot of practical things which is required while dealing with the corporate world also. So those practicalities need to be understood beforehand. If you are able to understand those practicalities, then only I personally feel any corporate lawyer will pick you that yes, the person is expert in IP, he'll be IPR specialist, or a person is not specialist, he can be there. So basics needs to be very clear, and basic is much requirement. Plus, in the corporate world, a person should be very clear that you are not going to earn money daily; it's going to come a monthly basis. You thinking of jumping a day is not possible. It will take time to make you on a step by step, and those things need to be considered first. What all happens basic people youngster what they do look into what I personally feel I've been interviewing many people nowadays. Uh, don't jump towards money. Basically money will flow when you are expert. As such, in our field, there is no expert, but expert in the side instance, expertise on particular field. So those expertise will come when you learn, and learning will come without money first of all. So I started my career when I started as an individual lawyer or practicing lawyer with Mr. G.B. Patnaik, who the former Chief Justice of those days. I do remember for 7 months I was not paid a single penny. But the 7 months what I have learned has paid me along full of my life. Those people are running towards money from the first day. I don't feel that it should not. It should be there. Money is required. I know, or I think of the 1 year or 2 years should be an extended course of law which is going on as a practical training. That is a requirement which I personally feel. Nevertheless, good law firms, good companies are hiring freshers also with a good amount of money. I'm happy for that also, but this is only a 10% or 12% of chances you have to take. Rest apart, everyone has to learn as the basic from zero to start. This is what I feel.
Absolutely right, sir. So you and Vidyut ma'am are both were on the same page when it comes to discussing about starting the career. So Vidyut ma'am and Sachin sir, like you are like Sachin sir as a general counsel and you as a practicing advocate. Now, what like would you like us to tell the difference here, being in both into the different era of the legal industry? So
With
starting with your mom, please.
Hi, thanks. Sahil, honestly, I've never been where Mr. Sachin is. I've never been in in-house counsel. My entire career of 18 years, right from the time I passed out of ILS, which was in 2002, I have been a part of law firms. Okay, and to me, that was a choice, right? I mean, it's not that I wanted to be on the other side. Right from the beginning, I chose to be at law firms, and therefore I continue to do that even when I started off on my own. That was because of the passion of starting your own law firm. So therefore, I don't know what to say to that. I don't know what it is on the other side. I don't know what it's like on the other side. So I'm sure. I mean, I guess like what Mr. Sachin said, we have probably passed out around the same 1 or 2 years here and there. There was not such a clear distinction between practices of law, litigation, non-litigation, corporate, like how it is right now, right? I mean, it was all like you start off somewhere and then along the way you sort of find your, groove, to that extent. What used to be the case is, it was considered that corporates were a 9 to 5 and therefore to that extent comfortable. I think that was a very erroneous notion. And I think there are unlimited hours that even the lawyers who work in corporate houses work in. And I think each one faces its own challenge. So yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I can't give you much.
Sachin sir, please, your insights.
taking Vidyut for Vidyut Fount and good Vidyut, you are from ILS. I have been I had a privilege to be at ILS 2002
Oh,
also.
wow,
And
we have two alumni from the same university.
I have not I have not studied there. I was a guest
Okay,
faculty there from ILS.
okay. But so we can say a teacher and a student
No,
are
no,
the
no,
same
not.
platform.
We are from the same batch only.
Indirectly.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
would
Oh,
be
okay.
Not a teacher basically, but
yeah.
good to have. So, so far as Sahil, what Vidyut had said, that I've seen all three parts of lawyers basically: a faculty of law, a litigation lawyer, a law firm partner, and then shifting to a corporate world. All three has a different scenario. All are fine, subject to how better you approach to the subject basically. Uh, the corporate world has different challenges, which I can feel. You have a management pressure. You have deliverables, timings. What Vidyut said, people used to say 9 to 5. I say 9 to 9, 9 to 10, 9 to 12, maybe 24 hours also sometimes. So it depends on what platter you have and what you like to have and how you want to deal with it. People who do want to have 9 to 5, they are also their 9 to 5 job, but they are limited to that table that they want to grow. But growth has gone number high, not only by the working hours, but the mindset you also have to have. Corporate world has challenges pertaining to a lot of things which are there. You have to be a business lawyer basically. You cannot be a litigation lawyer or contract lawyer only. You have to be a business lawyer. You have to think as a business guy. You have to explain those things to business also and to the external counsel also when it comes to the litigation basically. Best part of basically that he has so many things in his plate. But he has an IPR field, he has a litigation, he has a contract, he's a compliance guy. So everything will come to you, and then you have to decide what to do, how to do, and work on. You are the first person to give solution. If not, then you have to go to external party and get the solution done. So this is a corporate world, which is a corporate world, basically. And as I told you, lawyers, there is no limitation of earning money. Corporate lawyers have limitation of the salary which they are supposed to. That's the basic difference which you have. Litigation side, when I practice, that's also in a big umbrella. What all you can have, what better you can have, what all results you can get from the courts. So I practice in all courts basically in Delhi. None of the courts I've been. So you can say start from Supreme Court, High Court, or any other court. I've been to those courts, all courts, and been practicing there also. So there is a good thing which a lawyer has. I personally feel a lot of challenges which you have every day, and you have to give deliverables. In the morning, you have to be ready with the file. You have to appear. You have to brief senior, or you have to appear of yourself, argue the matter, get the result. Again in the evening, you dig the things and start doing that also. So that also a 24/7 job is there. Lot of things are there which I also miss personally towards a lawyer which I used to have. Going to court and appearing before that with the general counsel style, you can't go before the court and appear and argue the matter. That's the difference which is there,
Right.
which everyone's I think so, which every lawyer should try once and start doing that at the initial days.
Right. We have been seeing the startup ecosystem has been, increasing and taking a lot of limelight these days. And entrepreneurship being the tag which people put on themselves, being into a startup. What do you think? What is more entrepreneurial, running your own law firm or being an in-house in the corporate? Vidyut ma'am, Sachin sir.
Sachin, please, you take the mantle first.
Right with you. So I'll say both are good. I think so. I can't say no to both of them. I am in a corporate world. I am happy with that also. But being an entrepreneur, that is also not a lot of challenges are there. But it goes to a task for high level, and it's all depends on your passion to work on. Right, I'm telling you, both industries, and nothing is bad, nothing is not. But I'm saying both are good. Being entrepreneur says nowadays the best thing is that you can have a expertise practice. Expertise practice also have a lot of work. M&A, there is a lot of lawyers who do only an M&A. A lot of lawyers who do only IPR. A lot of lawyers who do only recovery matters. So there are things. A lot of lawyers who are good in contracts only. They say I'll do documentation. Few of the people are there who are my team earlier. Now they are retainers with the 2-3 companies. They're doing retainership with 2-3 companies and getting some good money out of it. It all depends on that. So money is not a factor, but the factor is that how much you learn and how much you give to the society also. So one thing which I also personally feel, one which lawyer should feel that what you give to society also, what you have given to society, what have you done basically. So as a lawyer, we are a person who has to give a benefit to a society towards the beneficial earning which you do. So those things also to be understood what knowledge sharing you have done, how you have worked upon. Those are things keep on doing. That's the requirement.
Right. Vidyut ma'am.
So, Sahil, your question is it more entrepreneurial to start your own firm?
What is more entrepreneurial, having your own firm or working in a corporate?
Sahil, your question is wrong.
Okay.
I'm going to read out the definition of entrepreneur as per dictionary.com. It says a person who sets up a business or businesses taking on financial risk in the hope of profit is what dictionary.com defines entrepreneurship as. So I would think starting up on your own by the very definition would be what an entrepreneur is. So a legal entrepreneur would be one who starts off, taking risks of that business, right? So like any other business, when you start off entirely on your own with your own earnings or savings, you take the risks of all of it. Sometimes not getting recoveries from clients, sometimes taking risks and not getting returns, all of those things. So entrepreneurship of any kind is a risk, and legal entrepreneurship has the same challenges, no different than in a regular entrepreneur. So yeah, that's my answer.
Okay. So, ma'am, being when it comes to entrepreneurship and entrepreneur, as you said, the definition is absolutely correct. But, ma'am, an entrepreneur is someone who actually come up with the solution to a problem. Right. So my question at that time was whether what is more entrepreneurial, being starting your own law firm or working in a corporate. So here I was actually looking for a corporate lawyer as a general counsel or in-house counsel can also be an entrepreneur if he comes up with a solution for a company itself.
Oh,
And
okay. I did not understand the context. Okay.
right. So the entrepreneurship is something which is my own favorite because I am a corporate lawyer turned marketer. So that is what when I came into entrepreneurship and working with startups. So I actually have that understanding and mindset. So I have one question from Smita ma'am or
Okay,
Dr. Shan.
Kyle, can I just tell you, maybe the nomenclature that potentially you could use is instead of entrepreneurial, you can say solution driven.
Solution driven.
Or business
Right.
enabler. What do you say? What do you say?
My
Business
bad.
enabler. So maybe
Absolutely.
that might be a better than entrepreneurial because those that can be a confusing term.
Absolutely. So I have one question from Smita ma'am and Dr. Shanu. So anyone who would like to take it up. So the question is, are we actually making sure that the law students are going towards entrepreneurship? Are we teaching that thing to the students in our institutions these days?
Yes, I can tell you that this is definitely happening. Okay, because we are apart from teaching, of course, the basics of law. Nowadays, there is also a lot of skill development programs which are being taken up by law schools. So students are getting, an all-rounded, you know, exposure to law and legal areas. They are doing internships. They are doing basic amount of classes, which is a mandatory. They are doing skill development activities, and they are also taking part in a lot of extracurricular activities which is there related to the law field, like moot courts, competitions, and apart from that even extracurricular activities like sports and everything. So I
Okay.
think that's happening.
Amazing, amazing, ma'am. Good to hear that. So
Uh,
the
can I
students,
add a word here?
please, sir, please, please.
In Amity, we have an entrepreneur cell which
Mhm.
takes care of, and there is a team of faculties and students, and they nurture anybody who has got an entrepreneurial idea, and he is supposed to make a business plan. He or she would like to take the entire journey, and then if it is found that it is viable, certainly the students are advised, and they are hand holding is done for them. At least I can talk about the Amity University and Amity Law Schools. Thank you.
Like, that's amazing, sir, because e-sales are required these days, and I hope, I'm glad our Amity is already doing, and I hope other institutions also get inspired from Amity and do it if they are not already. So, Sachin Kalra, sir, as you said, being a general counsel, you cannot go and practice in the court, right? What are other restrictions which student will face after, becoming an in-house counsel? Starting his or her journey as a in-house counsel or in the corporate, working for a corporate.
Well, restrictions, can't understand what restrictions. There are no restrictions to anyone. It's a choice basically which person has, and the choice if his person takes to be a corporate lawyer, he is to be a corporate lawyer defined to the office hours. Basically, he has to be follow the code of conducts which are of the office. Uh, he cannot practice before the court. That's the basic thing which is required because he can't have a son of that. Apart from that, there's no other restrictions which are there. Everything is there. Work-wise, everything is balanced. To as a lawyer, you have, and you have a lot of things to learn around, or particularly for that business which you're working into. Be it be any fields of law, everything is
Right.
available.
Okay.
Nothing is restricted.
Sir, I used to hear one thing that after becoming an in-house counsel or a general counsel, you have to suspend your bar counsel of license, bar counsel of India
You have
license.
to surrender your lessons basically.
Surrender, right? So this is true, right, sir?
As this is
Okay.
Advocates Act itself says about that. You cannot do anything else. That's what if
Okay.
you are registered.
And what all other options students will have if they want to pursue as an in-house counsel? What all they can do? Because I have seen a lot of legal professionals, industry experts who are into different corporates. Either they are compliance experts and they are into recovery. So, what all options students will get?
As a corporate counsels, basically there are a lot of fields today which has grown up. I'll tell you what.
Right.
There are divisions which are IPR divisions in the company itself. IPR team is there. It's looked into intellectual property. There is a recovery team. If you go to any financial sector, NBFC industry, your recovery section which is there, which is to recovery. The lawyers are there for the recovery because they issue notice and everything. Apart from that, there is an M&A team inside the companies. I also have an M&A team which works with me. There are person who do especially a documentation and contract drafting, basically a drafting of different areas only. It means a typical field of e-commerce will be there, typical field of media will be there. Apart from that, there is a compliance part, and compliance is a huge sector which today we have. Respectively, as a lawyer, basically, if I feel a student who is pursuing law, if he pursue law along with a company secretary or a chartered accountant or some additional degree of MBA, he is much benefited in the corporate world because he knows the jargons of business or a company secretary world. Compliance, he can take care of that. Even a lawyer, which I personally feel nowadays things are changing. Now our lawyers are becoming a CEOs outside India. If you find big companies, 80% lawyers are the CEOs of the big companies. So there's a difference which I have, and I can find out a lawyer can do it because lawyer knows the law also, a lawyer knows the business to how to run into, and he knows the multiplication subjects also. So it depends on what choice is there, and a lot of scope. I personally feel there's a lot of scope which is there. If I go find a person having a 4 to 5 experience or 7 to 8 experience with expertise, there are few only which have expertise on the field, and I have to make them sit with them. He's not expert. I have to make them and nurture them so that they can be expert tomorrow. So there's a lot of things which can a person do, and in house counsel there's multiple things, multiple channels which are
Right. Sir, as we can see, there has been a lot of reservations when it comes to a lawyer who is practicing in the court that they cannot market themselves, they cannot advertise themselves, or do the business development sort of stuff. How it is different from being an in-house counsel or a general counsel? Can
there.
they do or cannot do? Cannot do.
So for me and for in-house counsel, there is no marketing required because I am not into business side. I have to
Mhm.
market. If I have to market, I can market my business, my company's business, and I can promote that. For the
Right.
lawyers, Vidyut can much better explain because he is into practice side of what. But today with the social media, everything is working around, but not on a higher scale.
Right, right. Thank you, sir. So, Vidyut ma'am and Sachin sir, as you know, the current pandemic situation we are in, and technology has actually played a very crucial role here. How technology has changed, and what students should keep in mind when they are using technology after, like, during their school of law. What they should keep in mind. So, starting with Vidyut ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, I think now today technology has become all pervasive, right? It's one of the most critical requirements for continuity of business. So I suppose for law students, who are I'm sure all of them are taking online classes, and therefore it's already become a part of their lives. I think online internships. That's something that I spoke to of before our session started. I think students can definitely try to do online internships. I know that the experience is not as immersive as in a physical environment where there's a lot more interaction, but we at the firm has to ensure that we have, like, for instance, everyday paper reading and law updating sessions every afternoon. So we try to include the interns during those discussions to make it a little more beneficial. So students should try to, continue their internships online. to continue to create an identity for yourself, maintaining it, from day one, writing articles, and just having, an equally important and strong digital presence. That continues and will continue to be the need of the hour. I mean, COVID is there today; it's not going to go away tomorrow. What it has shown us is that how quickly can we adapt, right? And only technology has enabled us to do that, to adapt to this change very quickly. So I think technology is here to stay, and therefore there's no point in shunning it. You must use it to the best of your abilities.
All right, ma'am. Sachin sir.
I process it with this scenario of COVID-19 or pre-COVID also. For I know as law, technology was a basic thing which is required, and every tool of mine is a technology field. Basically, maybe and it has grown on a high level from last March 20th till date. My work times have gone double because of this technology only. Because a lot of things which I have to learn and I have learned it. Still growing, but one thing which I personally feel these all concepts which needs to be built in the classes, day-to-day classes of the colleges also. How to feel it, because the world is technology and tomorrow you have to be in digital only. Challenges are there. Old teams still are challenging. Yesterday only I was on a hearing where one of the senior counsel from Mumbai High Court said that while having a hearing, he felt a challenge and he has to call his son and to, to rectify this problem. Those problems could not come, but technology-wise, learning should be on the field. Students should learn. And if you're joining somewhere, they should start appearing and doing something, researching on technologies. Everything is on technology nowadays. And
Right.
I personally, next generation is this only.
All right, sir. We are very we have crossed 2 minutes already of the time. So I'll be taking up the questions now from the audiences. So there are a lot of questions on when it comes to LLM, or if someone is planning for the US. So I'll be just putting the questions on the screen. So any one of you would like to take the question, feel free for that. So we have one question by Rohan Chandra. Respected panelists, I'm in fifth year of my BBLLB honors, and I'm thinking of doing further studies in the US. There are two courses I have seen present over there. One LLB MBA, then JD or JD MBA. Is the plan for US viable? Any one of you, anyone, please.
But do you want to take it?
Sorry.
You want to take it? Should I?
I can give it a shot. Both of us can probably studying in the US, whether it is viable or not, or I cannot comment on that. In terms of whether it is a good time to go. I know that there was somebody I knew. She actually got into King's College, and unfortunately, this year's admission had to be put for the next year because she couldn't travel to the UK. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if this would be the right time, and maybe waiting out a year makes sense. As far as the course is concerned, probably MBA does make sense because it has a lot of application across the world. So LLB plus MBA is definitely a good course.
Sachin sir.
I agree with Vidyut only, and additionally, I don't know what courses he's looking into. There are two courses. What's his choice of what he's looking into? Apart from that, going to US right now due to COVID, I think so restrictions always there and may not be. Getting some additional degree with law, it's always much better to be a good lawyer also. Even if you want to come back to the practice side in India or you want to practice outside India, this is always better.
Okay, so we have another question from Diksha. So she says, is mediation a good career option? So I guess Vidyut ma'am would like to take this one. Is mediation a good career option?
I mean, mediation by itself, I don't understand, what it means. So probably arbitration and mediation. If it's arbitration and mediation, then definitely it's a good career option, but not at the beginning. I think to be a good arbitrator, you need to be a good litigation lawyer. So your experience, because all the same rules apply, right? In an arbitration matter, your ability to argue your case, your ability to convince the arbitrators, all of those, will require you to be a good litigation lawyer. So I think before specializing in arbitration slash mediation, it would be a good idea to get yourself into a good litigation firm to develop those skills. If it's only mediation, I think you need to have something more than just a law degree. Maybe a degree in psychology might help to be a good mediator, because it requires human skills, right? It's not just about lawyering. It's about understanding the parties who have come to mediation and advising them accordingly. So if it's a super specialization like mediation, maybe this kind of a course might make sense to become a psychologist or do some super specialization there. Yeah.
Sachin sir, your insights.
On
Same.
mediation, what I would suggest that what she might or he might be looking into is a mediator role or mediation. A lot of things which are coming to mediation side, but mediation is always better on the law legal side when you know the law and you are perfect on the subject matter. That's what my concern is. You should be expert on those fields. Then getting a mediator or becoming a mediator is much better. Or you join some mediation industry like we have in Singapore, Malaysia, or even in India now. So those things can be joined, but for that degree, you need to have some bit of experience or 7 to 8 years to become a mediator.
Okay, sir. So we have a very interesting question with Vidyut Mama and Sachin sir. And the question is, what can a law graduate do if their inclination is towards social service? Is there anything specific that we can pursue in that direction?
I think probably a course on human, this thing. One second, I'm suddenly lost my chain of thought. Sachin, why don't you take this first? Let me just.
Legal services we have in India, which has social obligation and people every see there are only 20% of a person who can pay the fees of the lawyers. Basically, this is what the fundamental legal fraternity is. 80% don't cover are not even able to pay the lawyers' fees because they are so poor and the fees are so high. This is a legal service called free legal services with every state, every district courts is attached. In person can start that also as a social service nowadays with a minimum payout, a minimum expenses. And it's much
All right,
required.
sir. Vidyut Ma'am, would you
Yeah, I
like?
think a course in human rights will work. So there are many universities that provide special courses in human rights. Many international universities and very good ones, right, provide fantastic courses on human rights. I think once you have done that kind of a specialization, making inroads into social service really can make the difference, right? Because we all study our fundamental rights, but beyond that, human rights is not something that we, delve in deeply during our college years. So I would recommend that do that as a specialized course, and then probably look at good NGOs in the vertical that where that person definitely wants to work in. Like for instance, if there are women's issues that somebody may want to work, she may probably go and join such a specialized NGO.
So can
Thank
I
you, sir.
add a word here?
Yes, yes, sir. Please.
Legal aid is also one of the areas which can be seen into and looked into, because there is, as what Sachin said, that there are very few people who can afford the fees. And legal aid is taken very seriously in Amity, and the students are doing a yeoman service and a wonderful job in the legal aid. This is what I wanted to bring on table to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So I'll be taking up one last question, and it seems really good. So after law, how promising is a career in criminal psychology in India? So it's more
Just
towards.
us because he's looking at this side basically.
Yes. Criminal psychology, how promising. I don't know if in India criminal psychology is a
No,
particularly impressive career option.
Okay, okay.
Honestly, I don't know enough about criminal psychology to know what the career options are. It all depends on, I think probably US is a much better jurisdiction there. This could be a possible super specialization. India, I personally don't know what the career options are.
I feel some questions, some issue in the question only. It might have some other questions you might be asking. I think so. Criminology or some criminal lawyer. I think so. Psychology. I also think so that nothing is available.
Okay. Saxena, sir, you wanted to say something on this? All right.
Not really.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you so much, Vidyut ma'am, Sachin sir, Dr. Shanu, Smita ma'am, Saxena sir. And now, for the vote of thanks and the closing statement, I would like to hand over the mic to Saxena sir. Please.
Okay. So thank you very much, Sachin, Kalraji, and Biduji, to have joined us and given our insight on the subject of career after law. I'm sure the students would be enlightened, and it was a very thoughtful and thought-provoking, and they can now be better prepared to take their step into the industry and have their choices laid out as to where they want to go and where do they see themselves next 2 years from now. So once again, thank you. I would like to thank Place and Record, the lawyer effort, and especially Sahil and his team, Salil and his team, rather Sahil and his team. Thank you, Smita ma'am, and thank you, Dr. Shanu ma'am, for having spared your time and come on to this platform. It was quite unique for us because we work on a different platform. It was wonderful having all of you with us. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, sir. Before closing, the attendees who are watching us live, I would request we have provided a link for the feedback, and to get the certificates, you can just fill up those details and avail the certificates. And do provide your feedback for the session. Thank you so much, everyone. It was lovely meeting you and having you today with us. Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Take care.
Right.